Life will become a little louder in some communities around O'Hare, like Wooddale, Harwood Heights, the city's 45th ward. The airport's scheduled to open a new runway October the 17th. As a result, almost all the flights will take off and land from east to west and back. The change will be part of the modernization plan that's meant to improve capacity and efficiency. Impacted communities will have to find ways to deal with it.
We do want to sit down with our congressmen and try and get some of these planes turned over the industrial parks where we really don't have residents sleeping there.
Change is never easy, and we don't know what's on the other side of that change a lot of times, and we tend to expect the worst. I don't think this will be the worst that people see. We'll kind of come to a new normal.
O'Hare Airport says it will continue to have the airlines advocate for quieter engines. There are also federal subsidies for soundproofing homes and schools. Congressman Mike Quigley says he supports the new landing pattern. Joins us now here in the newsroom to explain why.
Well, I supported the expansion of O'Hare because O'Hare is critical to the region. Modernization of O'Hare is critical for it to maintain its status as one of the top airports in the world. Today we heard that there were almost 50 million visitors to the Chicagoland area. We need to keep those numbers up because it's absolutely critical to the economy. There are a lot of things, however, we can do to mitigate these changes and the impact on my constituents.
The mayor of Wooddale said he'd like to talk to the congressman about rerouting some of the flights over industrial portions. Is that possible?
Well, I think, first of all, we need more noise meters. We need to lower the threshold. There's a noise threshold on an average basis of 65 decibels so that more people qualify for soundproofing. They need to enhance and increase the fly quiet provisions in which they bring in planes in a manner in which the noise is reduced to high elevation areas. And then finally, the redistribution, the burden on these runways so that one area isn't getting hit so much. That's something that's going to be very difficult to do, but I'm committed to working with my constituents to make that process work.
A number of the residents said, okay, we've soundproofed our house. It's okay on the inside, but we spend most of our summers outside. You can't even have a conversation out there. Is it one of those things where it's sorry?
No, it's not so much it's sorry. I mean, I took over the airport itself in my district starting in January and inherited a plan that had been put in place a long time ago. So I don't want to say sorry to any of my constituents. I want to try to reduce this noise as much as possible. And you did touch upon one of those things. There are the older airplanes that are much, much louder than the others. You know, those have to be phased out sooner. I do think there should be more noise meters to let my constituents know, all the residents who live around O'Hare, just exactly what they're facing. So it isn't some speculation or somebody's best guess as to what the noise levels really are. I think with Fly Quiet and some of these plans and attempts to redistribute the burden over these different east-west runways, we can reduce some of that noise.
Switch gears. Syria. Still undecided?
Still undecided. One of the things I gathered from my constituents is they don't understand why there's a rush to judgment here, why to do this. I mean, Syria knows that we may be coming, so if there's going to be any moving around of elements, they've already done that. So it makes no sense for me not to wait out. There's another briefing that we have Monday in Washington, D.C. at 5 o'clock. There are a lot of documents to review. There's a lot of people to talk to in the administration and the Department of Defense about why they want to do this. But I think we have to hold back for a second and look at what we've learned in Vietnam. What did we learn from Iraq? We went in for the wrong reasons, didn't understand the culture, didn't have a plan to get out, didn't understand that there could be unexpected results of what we were doing. We haven't done any of those things yet.
Are you suspicious of the evidence that the U.S. says it has?
No, you know, but the cloud of Iraq and how we got into Iraq clearly hangs over this process. By mail, I think it's 50-1 to my office against intervention. By phones, it's probably 20-1. And I'm basing that understanding. A lot of that has to do with people remembering Colin Powell talking to the United Nations saying there are weapons of mass destruction. Of course, there weren't. On this case, I have near certainty that there was a sarin attack and that Assad was responsible. But that's only part of the problem that happened in Iraq, and it's only half of the decision-making process here.
I got 10 seconds left. If you vote against the president, will you pay for it?
Well, I don't think so. I mean, this has never been seen to be a vindictive president. It took him a long time to come to his decision on this. It will for us as well.
Congressman Mike Quigley, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Lourdes.
And we will talk more about Syria after